This is the Hopper. This is an 8-panel muted gray, pink, and yellow plaid wool blend cap. Designed for a casual, stylish look, this Easter-themed cap features a leatherette brim and includes a pin and a dust bag. Here is the cap in hand. This is the Hopper by the Boston Scally Company, and this is, as you probably know, a unique cap from the Boston Scally Company because this cap was released in a very special way. It was not actually available on their page, on their main hat page. You couldn't just go to the site, look up, their newly released caps, Scally caps in general, and find this cap. No, this cap was only found through a link. They treated this as sort of an Easter egg hunt, a little scavenger hunt on their site. And so you had to go, and eventually I heard that the link was on the frequently asked questions page at the bottom. You had to click that link and then this hat came up. So as you can probably tell, I didn't even know this existed, this link, because as I've said in past reviews, I do occasionally look at the Facebook page that Boston Scally has. I don't have a Facebook account, so when I watch these videos, like I said, I'm usually watching them at work. Shh, don't tell anybody, please. But so I watched them with the sound off, and I thought the video that hinted at this cap and told people how to get this cap, I listened to it with the sound off, so I thought they were just talking about 3 other caps because they were in the video. And so I was like, oh, I already have those. And so I never even knew about this scavenger hunt until I think I went on eBay and saw the Hopper there. And I was like, what is this? When did this come out? And so I had no idea how this cap was released. And then in Reviews with Moose, he has a great video describing how this process went about, how Boston Scally went about this process to get this cap out there. And so I just had no idea. And I think I read that this cap sold out in 2.5, 3 hours, somewhere in that range. So this cap sold out very quickly. People were very quick to get this cap. And like I said, I just had no idea it even existed. But I saw it, and of course people, oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen so many of the same cap for sale on eBay. I mean, there are literally, even at the making of this video, about 2 dozen of these things on there. They're going for, of course, $150, $200, even higher, some $300 in some cases. I think I saw one. Just completely absurd. But I did find this cap on eBay, and it was just above $100, so I paid about double what I would have on the Boston Scally site. But I really liked it. My wife actually really liked this cap, so I thought, hey, I'll go ahead and get it. It's her favorite spring cap. I like it a lot. It's a good-looking cap to me. It doesn't exactly just shout spring to me, but it does have some nice colors on it. It has the yellows that you see here going up, and the grays. We have the whites as well, and then a little lining. You can probably see in this video, I'm not sure, but you do have some pink in there as well. So we do have the pink as well, and the leatherette brim is more of a peach. So that's really cool. I think that brim is really pretty when it's up against the cap. The plaid there, I think that's nice looking because it is a little bit different color than the pink that is actually on the cap itself. And it's so weird when my eye looks at this pink here. It almost looks peach until I really look at it, and then it looks pink. I don't know if it's an illusion or what's going on there. But the interior here is the Hopper, a silk lining, so very nice there. It's a great lining there on that cap. I really like the Hopper logo. It's just a really cool little logo there. And this actually did come with the pin as well. And you see the pin here. It's a nice looking pin. I really like this pin because it's not solid. You see the sides there. It actually has, it's hollow and you can see through it there. So that's really neat. Boston Scally doesn't do a ton of pins like that. So I think that's really neat as well. And this cap also came with the dust bag, the Hopper logo there, of course. Man, that's one bad bunny. So I like this cap. Like I said, this cap just doesn't completely scream Easter to me. It's a very muted cap, and that's fine because you already have, Boston Scally has the Cottontail, which is a beautiful pastel, soft looking cap, and then an even more vibrant, the Egghead, which I reviewed not long ago. So that cap is, I love that cap. I really like the Cottontail too. So like I said, just not exactly what you would expect with the spring colors, but you have so many of the other Boston Scally caps that really do scream spring, Easter. So I don't think that's really a knock against this cap. It's just not one that I would, immediately think, hey, that's an Easter or spring looking cap. Although I do really love, like I said, I love the leatherette pink brim. I think that is a beautiful addition. And Boston Scally, sometimes they say, this is a limited edition cap, this will never come back out, one time only, and the next year they're rolling it back out. I've seen comments like that on Facebook, so you never quite know what Boston Scally is going to do. Now, you have a cap like the Donut, and I don't think, that was actually released just that one time. It never came back out. So the Donut, is one of those caps, and this might be too. I guess time will tell, but this was released obviously a little differently than Boston Scally normally does, so this may actually not be re-released. So if you're fortunate like me and you wanted this cap and completely missed it, either because you couldn't find the link or didn't even know it existed, maybe you can find it cheaper. Obviously, $100 isn't cheap when it was sold originally for about $52 or so. But, you go on eBay, you're not getting, especially when it comes to these caps, the Boston Scally caps, you are not going to get these cheap. Most people aren't reselling these, at list price or just above, the listing. They go usually $100 is where they start, sadly. So this is the Hopper. I mean, it's a cool way that they released it. I guess now I know that I've just got to turn the volume up on the Facebook videos and pay more attention, because I guess I didn't really know, I didn't know what they were doing. So I missed out when this did release the way it released. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to review the Hopper. I like this cap. It's just, like I said, I just can't get over that. It's just not that, for a limited release cap, I would think, maybe I shouldn't, but I would expect a little bit more. Maybe it looked, I don't know. I don't think it's all that special looking for the way they released it. I would have expected something a little bit more special. But maybe that's just me. Now, they are coming out with the Runaway based on the Norman Rockwell painting, and that cap, just from what I've seen on Facebook, that cap looks spectacular to me. Now, if that would have been like a limited release, I would have been so mad. I would have bought that immediately on eBay. I'm not going over 300 for a cap, but I would have probably convinced myself I've got to have this. But like I said, I found the Hopper for a lot lower, so I was like, hey, I don't have all that many spring caps anyways, so I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get it because I like it. My wife really likes it. I think it is a nice looking cap. So I'm going to go ahead and rate the Hopper. I rate on a scale from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. I am giving the Hopper a 3. A 3, yeah, I haven't given out many 3s. I think the only other 3 I gave out was for the Kringle. And because I just really thought that it was one of the weaker releases from the holiday collection from Boston Scally Company, and most people rave about that cap, but for me it just didn't really hit the mark. And I like it, and I like this cap. I like the Hopper. I think it's a cool cap. It's just when you compare it and rate it against the other Boston Scally offerings from their spring collection, I just don't think it quite gets up there for me. But with that said, and I'm not being hateful towards it because of I missed it. So don't think that, because even if I would have got it, because I was on the fence about this even when I saw it on eBay, I was like, you know, maybe, maybe not. But then, you know, like so many of us do, I just convinced myself I had to have it. So I went ahead and got it. But that is my review for the Hopper. So let me know, did you get the Hopper? Did you find the link when Boston Scally put the scavenger hunt up, and were you one of those lucky few, I guess, who discovered where it was and got it from their site? Because like I said, I didn't even know what was going on. So I certainly did not. But I did read in the comments, you know, on Facebook and things like that, that a lot of people, I think, were trying to find it and they missed it. They just couldn't find the link. So I don't know how difficult this scavenger hunt actually was. But it seems like it wasn't just, you know, it wasn't really easy, because it did look like people were having some problems finding this cap. But I'm glad to have it, because I really think this might be one of those few times from Boston Scally where they said something is a limited release where it truly is. It wouldn't surprise me if this cap never re-released, but who knows? Boston Scally is a very interesting company, I think, at times. So that is my review for the Hopper, a 3 out of 5. It's a great cap, don't get me wrong. It's not that I dislike it, I like it. I just think that Boston Scally has some better spring caps available. So thank y'all so much for joining me today, and I hope y'all have a great rest of your day.